Thank you. All right. Boom. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Client Attraction Workshop. I'm really happy to be working with you. I'm really excited to be sharing the things that I've learned about um, creating your client attraction message and getting comfortable sharing it. Because, like, after all, that's the most important thing, And one of the things that I know is that there are a lot of people who help folks create their message, right? Using all kinds of names for them, like elevator pitch and banner message and, you know, your USP, all kinds of things, unique selling proposition, your value proposition. It all comes to the same thing. And I've worked with some of the best of them, from Dan Kennedy on down. But I know that some of you aren't working on your message for the first time either. Okay. The thing is, it doesn't matter how great your message is unless you're willing to share it. That just really is the bottom line. You have to have the courage to be seen, to put yourself out there and tell people who you are and what you do. So a large part of this workshop is going to be about doing exactly that, about practicing and building the confidence to share your message. Okay, so if that sounds good to you, click good in the chat. Just put good in the chat so that I know that that works for you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you. So here's the thing. I'm going to share a little bit about me. And I know some of you know me, but for those of you who don't know me, um, I want to let you know who I am, give you a little bit of information about me. All right. My name is Pam Hamilton, which you probably figured that out by now. I'm a mindset and visibility coach, a speaker, and an author. And I do that because mindset and visibility go hand in hand. And working on your mindset is going to help you change everything for the better, including your visibility, right? So you'll find I talk about visibility a lot. And that's because invisible businesses are failing businesses. You need to be able to put yourself out there to get eyes on you and attract your ideal clients. And I know this from firsthand experience because I used to be invisible. Okay. I used to be completely invisible. And so I understand how that can be and how to change it and how to make it work. I shared a lot of that story in my best-selling book, Get Past Your Shit. And I shared the principles I used to help me do that in my own book, The 10 Principles of Visibility. Anyway, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about me. You can learn more about me on my website at buildingvisibility.com. And I'm going to skip the housekeeping because, well, I'll share it, but this is an interactive workshop. So we're going to practice putting ourselves out there and sharing who we are. So to that end, I'm asking people to be willing to be on camera. If you're watching this in the replay, you can practice it by going on Zoom and recording yourself on camera, or looking in a mirror and sharing it with yourself in the mirror, and then later on recording it on camera. But you need to get used to letting yourself be out there and be on camera and be willing to share and talk about yourself and share the things that you do. So I am going to put people on mute to prevent background noise and confusion, but you can unmute the mic to talk. If you're on the phone, it's *6 to mute and unmute. And if you are on the site, the raise your hand is under the reaction tab, and that way you'll go up to the right and I'll be able to see you. But there's only a couple of us in here now, so you could just raise your hand. I don't have to actually share that part. But I am going to be recording this so that people that come into the bundle before the 5th can benefit from it, and you guys can use it for reference later on. Okay, so do we have any questions so far? Anybody? Okay, you guys are all good, right? All right, good, good, good. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's just hop in and talk about this. I got to keep remembering to switch the slides on the different parts. So, all right, so there's 7 elements to creating your client attracting message. And those elements are then plugged into, your formula or whatever you're going to use. That's what my formula is used is to design to interrupt your ideal prospect and grab their attention. And you do that by being a part of the conversation in their head. And I'll explain why and all of that a little bit more as we go into this. But you want to grab their attention, you want to engage them, and you want to educate them, and then you want to make an offer. Okay, that's how you begin the process of both attracting the right prospects and then converting them into customers. And it all stems from your message. So let's talk about the 7 elements. Okay, so the first one is, who are you? And I know that's not where most people start, but it's important to start there. And we're going to get into why that's so important. Okay, but the first part is, who are you? And then, what do you stand for? Like, what's the message that you think is so important that you have to share it? Not your overall life, what all you stand for in your whole life, but what you stand for in terms of what you're offering and who you serve in your business. And so that brings us to who you serve and what is the problem or the result that they desire. How do you help them? And what is the value you offer? And finally, what makes your solution different, right? Those 7 elements are going to be what helps you create a message that stands out and gets their attention. All right, so that's what we're going to be going over. All right, any questions so far? Nope. Okay, good, good. I'm sorry, I'm looking at 2 screens right now to try to keep it all balanced. So why it's important to start with you. Let's talk about that. Why do we start with you, right? Why not talk about your ideal prospect first? Do you guys want to hazard a guess on that? Like, why are we talking about you first?
Know, like, and trust. Get to know you.
But why is it important for you to start with, to share, learn, and say,
Oh, so that
fine.
we know why we're starting with us?
Yes.
So we know who we are. Like, what am I doing here? Why am I here?
Yeah, not, and that's a good part of it. So there's a logic to it. I have a logic. See, the key part and why I start with you first and not who you serve first is because you 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 have to share the message, right? You have to share the message as your authentic self in order to attract people that are going to resonate with you, right? Not the pretend you that you think you have to be to do what you're trying to do, the actual real who you are. Because here's the thing, when you attract people that aren't resonating with the real you, then you spend all of your time being afraid they're going to find you out rather than serving them. And whoever you're pretending, there's a story I tell about Oprah all the time, right? So before Oprah was Oprah, she was just a young Black woman that worked on TV. She had a job working on TV, and she was She was supposed to be a newscaster, but she didn't do a really good job as a newscaster because she would cry with the people and try to help them when she was supposed to be observing. And it was just, she was not a good newscaster. And so rather than fire her, they sent her to talk show to do a talk show. And she liked doing the talk show and she thought, I want to do a talk show. And they let her do a talk show and she was doing her best to be the best imitation Barbara Walters ever, because Barbara Walters was the interview extraordinaire. Can you even imagine Oprah being Barbara Walters? Right? It's mind-boggling. And she didn't get to be the Oprah that is the Oprah that is world famous and that everybody knows until she owned her own genius and her own thoughts, until she decided to step out as her authentic self, that she was good enough and that she had something to share. That made all the difference. And it makes all the difference for you. Because when you are pretending to be someone, you're going to attract the kind of people that are attracted to whoever you're pretending to be. And the people that would really love you don't trust you because they can feel that non-authenticity. They can feel that there's something off and fake, right? So the people that are really going to resonate with you are the people that actually are attracted to you. And here's the thing, you may not even like the people that's attracted to the fake you. So how are you going to work with them? So I start with you because it's important to know who you want to work with, right? Who's going to want to hear from you, resonate from you. And I want you to know where you feel most comfortable sharing yourself, and that will show you in the best light. Like if you're scared to death of video, then video is not the best place for you to be showing yourself in the beginning. You need to create a message that will play well in writing or on a podcast. If you hate writing, then trying to write the thing that's going to be your story is not the best way to show your message, because it's not going to come across well, because you can't, if you don't communicate well in writing, right? So you have to figure out what's best for you so that it works for you. Does that make sense for you guys? Okay, good, good. All right. So then the next question, after you figure out who you serve, so we're going to start building the elements of your message, right? And we're going to do it one authentic piece at a time. So what I want you to do right now is just write down. I want you to write down who you are, right? I want you to write down who you are, what you enjoy doing, what type of people you enjoy doing it with, and what mediums you currently feel comfortable working in. All right, so just write it down because we're going to come back to it. All right, and it's gonna help you when you do it. So really just take a minute and write it down. We're gonna share it, and I'm gonna get a sip of water. Okay, write it down. Okay. All right, good. Good. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're back. Is anyone willing to share who they are?
Do you want me to just read what I put down?
Sure.
All right. So I'm a mom. a grandmother, a great grandmother, and my family is my main love. I also like helping my clients with learning more about themselves to increase their employability. I love the aha moment that people find when working with me.
Okay. Very good. Okay, cool. You want to share?
Okay, yeah. Lots of questions, and I'm not sure I got all the answers to, but I am a wife and a mother to 5, grandmother to 8, empty nester at this point in time, previous corporate executive type person in a male dominated industry who managed to hold her own while I was there. But somehow when I left, I fell apart, and I'm getting my courage back again and my confidence. I'm working online to help women who want to network and collaborate with other people to grow their business and help match them to the opportunities and the people and the specific kinds of collaborations that might work the best for them. And I love seeing the success that people can have when they do, when they finally do take the actions and get some results. I enjoy helping them see the work as a, even if it doesn't quite go the way they expect it to, I enjoy helping them see that it's a learning experience. But when things do work for them, it buoys them up beyond belief and fills me up and lights me up. So that's it. And no, yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. Okay. That was great. That was great. So when I think of that, so I did a share because I didn't know if people would talk. But so one of the things, so I wrote that here's what I discovered about me. I'm a wife and a mother of 1. I used to be invisible because I didn't believe I was worthy of being seen. And so I hid who I was and spent way too much of my life afraid of everything. That invisibility was my prime objective, and it got in the way of trying to accomplish the goals I set out for myself. It took a change of mindset and finding the courage to be seen in order to change my life. I found after doing the work to change my own life, I could recognize the fear of being seen in others too, and that the clients I most enjoyed working with were older female business owners in their 50s and up. They were the ones that were open to change and allowed me to help them get past their fears and all the baggage keeping them invisible and playing small. And once I got past my fear of being seen, I also discovered I liked talking. I liked talking in workshops and podcasts and fake Facebook Lives and even on stages. And I love seeing these women come into their own. Do you see how figuring that out could help me attract the right types of clients? Can you see how that would help me? Because here's the thing, I'm all about helping people build a business they love, but my focus is on helping them do it through increased visibility, not marketing directly, but through developing a mindset that allows them to be able to implement the strategies and tactics that make up a good marketing system for their business. And primarily for older women because I can identify them and I've been where they are. I am them. Does that make sense to you? You know, it's showing how figuring out who I am helps me also figure out who I most want to work with. Because ultimately, we almost are always serving our clients as some version of who we were or are. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. Um, And I'm going to ask you, what do you stand for? So this is important because it's going to help you with the education part of your message. So, like I said, the formula is interrupt, right? And then engage, and then educate, and then make an offer. So it's going to help you create supporting content to keep your prospects engaged and moving in their buyer's journey towards a purchase from you. And it's going to make the people who resonate with that stand be attracted to you, right? It's their invitation. So we're talking about one stand that you take about what you do, not the stand of your whole life. So like, don't overthink it. So like, for example, what I stand for is that visibility is about more than just marketing. It's about finding the courage to be seen. And it's critical, right? My supporting message is that it's critical to your success as a business owner that you find that courage, because invisible businesses are failing businesses. That's my stand. And I feel really strongly about it. And I feel comfortable talking about it because they're important to me. And it's important for my clients to get it. So it runs through everything I put out and do and share. So using that example, what can you say you stand for?
I'm thinking helping unpack, which I'm doing for myself, unpacking my own fears right now, as we discussed this morning, looking at where I've come from and helping others unpack those fears as well to become more confident.
Okay, and what's your stand about unpacking?
We're going to work on that.
Okay, so your stand is, though, so when you talk about your stand, you're saying you have to unpack the baggage to get to the heart of it, right? You have to unpack it. So your stand is what about unpacking? What resonates with you about unpacking? What's your invitation to others?
Recognizing the strengths that we have that are hiding.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the people I talk to do not recognize their strengths. If someone praises them for something and it's a strength that they have, they just dismiss it and they go, "Oh, that's nothing." And that's what I try and help people do, is take a look at those things and recognize them and claim them.
Okay. So you have to unpack what to get to the jewel? What is it that you're doing?
Unpack the myths, unpack the message that people have been getting all their lives, to really examine and understand who they are and what their strengths are.
All right, there you go. Now we're getting to it. Right? Because it's not just unpacking, they're unpacking for something so that something can happen. Right? So they're unpacking all of the garbage and lies and myths and just stuff so they can get to their true strengths and who they are, so they can move toward the job, their ideal career or job, or figure out what it is they want to do, right? They got to unpack all the stuff in the way. Okay. You want to share one?
Sure. I would say, and what was it? My stand is that you you will go further and faster in business with others, working with other people. That it's important to not go it alone. And I don't know whether, I didn't want to have a negative statement, but that was the first one I came up with it. It's important not to go it alone, go further faster with others. Working with others is, we're social creatures. Online businesses, solo entrepreneurs can be isolating and lonely, and collaborating to get the word out about your business gets you, spreads your message faster than you could possibly do it on your own. Being accountable with and to others means you'll probably do the work, which means you'll probably get the results. And sharing the work with other people means you don't have to work quite so hard as when you do it on your own. In general, it's just more fun to work with other people and more likely to get results.
Okay. So business is a team sport.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one. Yeah, okay, that's what I said. Sure. We're gonna have the recording, right? So I can go back and listen this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, business is a team sport. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that just helps you when you get to that, because now when you're saying business is a team sport, it brings in all your stuff about collaborating, and then you have all your supporting reasons why, which you named a whole bunch of supporting reasons why,
Okay.
right? About working together, about not having to be lonely and isolated. All of those are good reasons why, and all of that makes it's a team sport. You don't do it alone, right? And nobody that's really, really successful does do it alone. Okay, so I like that. That helps you start to move into where you're going to go with it, right? Who you're going to work with. So now we get to, who do you serve, right? Who's going to be attracted to by what you stand for? Who are you going to serve? Because, so answered like this: who is the typical type of person you serve? Is it a male or a female? Are they young, middle-aged, or older? Where do they hang out? You want to really hone in on the one person you serve and give them a name, because everything we do going forward is going to talk to that person. Okay, so for example, I serve women business owners over 50 who self-identify as being painfully shy, introverted, or not feeling comfortable with the idea of self-promotion. She knows she needs to promote her business to attract more clients, but the idea of putting herself out there scares the crap out of her. Her name is Jody, and the lack of clients and ongoing struggle to pay the bills because of it keeps her up at nights. She knows she needs to do something different. She's just not sure what. Okay, so take a minute and write down who you serve. And there's more information about who I serve, but that's enough to give you an example of where I'm going with it and how.
Hmm.
So if you're watching this in the replay, really please take a moment, as we're taking these times to say, take a moment and write your stuff down. Like, really try to figure out the material and do the exercise, because it's going to help you. Anybody willing to share who they serve?
I'll go first this time. Fran's
Okay.
been brave and going first both the other times, but
Okay.
mine's not nearly as fleshed out as yours is, Pam, but I work with women, also generally older, have some experience in business, but not necessarily online, are relatively new to that. They've probably collaborated before in corporate, but they're finding that online is a different animal. It's a whole different world. And they know not only does she want to know, not only does she need to do something different, she wants to collaborate, but she's not sure what kind of things she should be doing, who to do it with, how to find partners, and where to find the opportunities that everybody else seems to be having around her. So, yeah, that's who I serve.
Okay, that's good. So they have some experience. They've been out there and they're ready to go.
Yeah.
They're ready to just learn something new. Okay. Fran, you want to give it a shot?
So what I wrote down was I serve any ages, but mostly 40 to 60 years of age who have been stuck in their careers and are seeking help in making a change.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. So you serve men and women that between 40 and 60. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. And it's about the career change. Okay.
Actually, I have anybody in their 20s all the way up to their 70s, but the majority would be in the 40 to 60 range.
Okay. So I'm going to, now you just said from their 20s to their 70s, and I'm going to wind you down because you're having totally different conversations with those two different groups of people. So where somebody in their 20s is in this conversation is totally different than where someone in their 60s is in this conversation.
Yeah, that's why I said mostly 40 to 60.
Okay, so let's deal with you're talking to someone 40 to 60. If that's
Okay.
where your sweet spot is, let's
Okay.
talk to someone that's pick an age in there and let's talk to somebody at that age.
Okay.
And I'm not bothering you about 40 to 60 because once you're over 40, you start to face ageism and you're having similar conversations. 20, no. That's a whole new, that they're starting out. So 40s is past the midlife crisis age for most of the people. They're starting to know who they are and kind of what they want. The rest of those ages are just too young for you to have the same conversations, right? So you want to be very clear on who your conversation is with because your message can only speak to one of those groups of people. Okay. All right. So we talked about who we serve. Now, I'm going to go forward and I'm going to ask you, what is the problem or the solution your prospect has? So they either have a problem they don't want, right? Or they want a result they don't have. So I want you to name your ideal client's problem they want to get rid of or the result they want and don't have. So for an example, my potential client, Jody, wants to have consistent income from a steady stream of clients and customers who buy her products and services, rave about it to others, and refer her, send her lots of great referrals, right? And under that, on a more subconscious level, more than anything, she wants to stop being afraid of her own shadow and be able to finally feel comfortable in her own skin and do the things she knows she's capable of. That's a result she wants and doesn't have, and it keeps her up at night. She also has a problem, right? She knows in order to do that, she has to promote herself and her business, and she has to sell stuff. And right now, she doesn't feel comfortable or capable of doing any of those things. So in reality, it's two sides of the same coin. So I can deal with it as one thing from the perspective of who I am, in terms of I can deal with her visibility and show her how her visibility is getting in the way of the results she wants. Right? So tell me who you serve, all right? And what their problem is, or what is the result they're looking for.
I definitely do not have a fleshed out.
It's okay. You're going to work on fleshing it out. That's why you're writing it down. That's why you'll download the planner. That's why I sent you the lead magnet workbook so you can do that. You're going to flesh it out, but I want you to take a stab at where you are now.
So most of my clients are coming to me looking for help in career direction, understanding, looking at where do I go from here? I'm stuck. I don't know what skills I have. I feel like I'm not going anywhere. And so I can share my story with them of starting my university degree at 38 and encouraging them to step forward and maybe take some additional courses, because you get older one day at a time, whether you're taking courses or you're not taking courses, but looking at helping them identify. So I know I'm going off on topic here.
Yes.
Basically, I'm looking at helping them identify their strengths, their skills, and looking at a career direction.
Okay. All right. So their problem is they don't know where to go from where they are.
Yep.
Okay. So they have a problem because they don't know how to go from where they are to where they need to go. And then the result they want that they don't have is a career that they love, that they feel has meaning and pays them well and, serves a purpose, right? That's not just a job. They want something real in their lives, right? Okay. So you can look at it from either way. The result they want is a job that they love, that has meaning to them, and pays them and helps them cover the bills, right?
Yep.
And then the
practical piece.
Yes. So right. So that result includes the practical piece, and then the problem is that they don't know where to go. They don't know how to get there. They just know what they want. So they want to not be lost. The problem is they want to stop being lost and figure out where to go. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cindy?
Okay, I'm writing a lot of stuff here. Good stuff. She wants a steady stream of clients, also for consistent income, but she wants things to kind of hum along without working any harder than she currently is, and feels like she's working really hard.
Yes.
She knows she has to do quote marketing. She's not sure what's the best way to go about it for her. She feels isolated, alone, like she's drowning in overwhelm. She wants to not feel alone. She wants to feel like there are people out there that understand her. She desires, way underneath it, a circle of supportive sisters that she can count on to help her out.
Okay. Very good. We got a result and we got a problem. And now we're going to talk about how you help, which Fran, you was hopping into ahead of time. But now we're going to talk about how do you help? Because we want to know what it is that you do. How are you going to help them? And because that's the next part of the thing you have to be able to share with them. How do you help? Right? And so, I'm sorry, how do you help? And so for me, I share my story and I give them practical hands-on help. I show them that they can be visible, and we start to unpack the things that make them feel invisible and the things that are in their mindset that are shaping their stories, so that I basically help them change their story. I help them change the stories they're telling themselves and reshape their mindset by their everyday actions, thoughts, words, and deeds, so that they can feel more comfortable in their own skin and step out in the world and share their message and themselves, right? Because that's key to being able to be visible. You have to feel comfortable in your own skin. You have to like who you are in order to share yourself with anybody else and let them see who you are. And so I started at the beginning helping them learn to accept themselves as being enough. Right? So let's go from there. How do you help?
Like what you said about reshaping their mindset, which I guess is what I do without having called it that,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm having them take a look at who they are, what their skill sets are. I have checklists for them, different types of skill sets, practical skill sets, management skill sets, things like that, that I have them
Mm-hmm.
go through assessments to look at in black and white. This is what I've done. This is what I can do. Because sometimes you need to see it in black and white instead of just in your head.
Mm-hmm.
So when they go through the checklists, and I encourage them to write physically
Mm-hmm.
anything that they can remember that they've done or they've been complimented on, to recognize that as a strength.
Right. So you
That's one of the ways as I get them rebuilding themselves.
right. So you unpack the stories they've been telling themselves to get to the real strengths and potential they have inside themselves. Right? You unpack their stories to get to the truth, so they can really see what they're capable of. Okay.
Okay. I help them discover what they can do that plays to their strengths and will help them reach their goals. Most often that includes collaboration, and I teach them about what the possibilities are. I help them wade through those possibilities and find the ones that are right for them at the stage of the business they're in, and the things that their expertise and their experience and personality strengths play into. And on a practical side, we'll match them with, make them aware of opportunities, that share with them the opportunities that are out there that other people are doing, and help them provide a forum where they can find collaborative partners.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. So you're both moving along. You're very clear on what you do, both of you. So that's good. Um, and so when you're helping, um, what is the value you're offering? Right? How are you, when you look at your client and you're explaining to them in it, what's in it for them? Right? What is it that they really get out of it? So when I look at it and I'm talking to my clients and I'm thinking, and they're thinking, well, what do I get out of it? And I say to them, what you're getting out of it is finally not being afraid, finally being comfortable in your own skin, and being able to step out, be seen, be heard, promote yourself, and grow that business that you want. That's what you get out of this, because you can't do it afraid and scared of your shadow. You have to step out there. And so the value I'm offering is helping you find the courage to actually be able to do all the things that you want to do. And, and so that's how I say, well, here's what the value is. And you have to be able to share that. So that's my intrinsic value, because they already know they're getting these paper and they're getting this and they're getting these experience and they're getting this many coaching calls and they're getting this and that. But what is the intrinsic value that they're going to get out of it? If you ever watched the movie The Karate Kid, and it's an old movie, but in that movie, yeah, wax on, wax off, right? But in the movie, he's fighting and he gets his leg broken in the tournament, and it's toward the end of the movie, and they're like, you can let go of this, you can just give up. And he's like, no, I can't give up. I have to go back out there. I need to do this. And they say, why? And he says, because I'm tired of being afraid. That's what he was getting out of it. He was willing to go out there. He was willing to have his leg just rubbed up a little bit so he could kind of almost stand on it, because he had to go finish, because he was tired of being afraid. He wanted to be able to move on with his life. And when I talk to my clients, they know that they're capable of so much more, but they don't feel it because they're afraid. And the courage to be able to step out of that, to step into the light, and to not be afraid, to move forward, is the intrinsic value, right? What is the value that you're offering?
Is that somewhat similar to what I said earlier of like their deepest desire to have a supportive circle of sort of supportive sisters they can count on?
Is that what they most
They're,
want out of it?
they're tired of going it alone,
Okay,
and
there
and
you
they
go.
want support.
Okay, so the value you're offering them is they don't have to keep going alone. They're gonna have a circle of sisters, like being in a sorority without the hazing and the in the pledging and the crazy stuff that goes with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wrote down support to finally recognize their skills and strengths, and gain more confidence to move forward.
Okay. So intrinsically, they're getting the confidence and the knowledge of how to actually move forward.
Mhm.
Okay, that works. Okay. So, what makes your solution different? Okay, so here's the thing you're going to find. Your ideal client has a problem, or they're trying to get a result that they don't have, or get rid of a problem that they don't want. They have tried things to make that happen. They've tried all kinds of things to make that happen. Right now, I'm doing this workshop on creating your client attraction message. I know that the people that signed up for this workshop, whether they're watching it on the replay or watching it here, are not dealing with creating their message for the first time, whether they call it a USP or elevator pitch or whatever they've called it. This is not the first time that they've signed up for it. So what makes this different? What makes what I'm offering different than what anybody else is offering? Because they've tried all of this. They've tried all the marketing. They've bought courses, they've read books, they've gone to seminars, they've gone to training. What makes this different? Because what makes me different is that none of those other programs got to the heart of their real problem, which is that they were scared to be seen. And all of the marketing tools and all of the marketing strategies and all of the marketing tactics don't work if you won't actually step out there and put them out there, right? What works is finding the courage to actually put them out there. And this workshop is different because in this workshop, we're going to practice our statements and we're going to hone them and tweak them until we get them. And we're going to say them to each other. We're going to say them and get comfortable. And we're going to learn how to come out of this workshop and go other places, working on our mindset, working on our courage to actually share our message. Because it's the only way it actually gets out there. Right? That's what makes this different. That's what makes working with me as a coach different. Because I understand, because I've been where you are, what the issues are. When I'm talking to you, I'm in my 60s. I was raised in the same kind of environment that you were raised in, where women weren't expected to do things. They were expected to be a wife, they were expected to be a mother, they were expected to take care of people. They were sandwiched in between raising their teenagers and taking care of their parents, all kinds of things. But none of it was, you are a full person, full of potential and capability. And you were told, women were told things that, you trained from when you were little with dolls and little houses, how to take care of people. And then at a certain age, you started doing that. Whereas little boys got to play. And then they got grown and could play for real and get paid for it. So different things, different worlds. And so understanding that world makes it easier for me to talk to my client and for me to understand where they're coming from. This is what makes my solutions different, because they're not designed for a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old or even a 40-year-old, because it was a different time period. Does that make sense? Okay. So think about it, write it down. What makes your solution different? What do you bring to the table?
I guess what makes my solution different is me,
Yes.
what I'm bringing to the table, which is that I've been in your situation when I'm talking to people. I've lost my job without notice, walked into work one morning and was fired. So I've been there. I went back to university at 38 while I was working full time, raising 4 kids as a single mom. I bring an openness, a creativity, a asking questions and pulling things out of people rather than telling them what they should be doing.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You are helping them unpack so that because they already have the solutions within them.
Yeah.
You're not giving them answers that then they have to try to fit into. And that makes all the difference. And that's one of the things, being able to say you've been where your clients are, because then you understand, right? When people look at me, they know when I talk to them, I've been through a transformation. I was invisible. I've been there. I was scared to talk. I was scared to be heard. I used to whisper, and people would have to ask me what I said, because I couldn't make myself speak up loud enough to be heard. It was like I wasn't supposed to be heard. I was supposed to be seen, not heard. I was told that my whole life. So there's just certain things that you understand and you learn and you pick up. You bring you to the table, and it makes all the difference. Um, what makes your solution different, Cindy?
To say I'm struggling with this one.
Okay.
Um, certainly it's my knowledge and experience, um, both in the corporate world and in an online world. Um, the research skills and pulling and outreach to pull together opportunities to put them in front of other people. But if some of it is mindset and some of it is because collaborating does take a certain mindset. So helping you unpack that, and developing the mindset and the relationships that will make collaborations work.
Okay.
Yes.
So the mindset and the mindset and the skill set is important. But here's what I also see from you. Okay. Because I've said this over and over, and Fran picked up on it too. You bring yourself to the table, right? You were a corporate person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you came to the online world.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes a difference because then you understand how to talk to the corporate person. That's your ideal client, that corporate coming to online, and you know how to speak to them in corporate language. Because what you will find is a lot of online people don't. So I remember having an argument with an online coach person because they were saying pricing is arbitrary. And I was saying, no, there are things that have to be factored into the pricing, right? Because when you do the pricing, you have to figure out one, how much it costs you to do the thing, and what are the ongoing costs of doing the thing, and then build that into your pricing so that you can price it in a way that is sustainable. And it was like, no, you just make up a price because we're not selling widgets here. And it's like, yeah, but if you're running a business, then at some point you're going to replace yourself. So you have to know how much time you have to spend actually doing it, because you're going to have to pay somebody when you replace yourself. The conversation was not, it was not a good conversation because online is a different world, and I was being too corporate. So, and then there's other people that have come from the corporate world, and when you talk to them, they understand that concept.
Mm-hmm.
Online, we're not selling widgets here, so it's all arbitrary. But some people are selling widgets,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, what one of the things you bring to the table is you understand the corporate world, and you understand the online world, and you understand how to make the transition between them because you had that experience, right?
Yep.
So you need to bring that up because that's part of what you're bringing to the table. And that's part of what makes your solution different. You're not just showing them the online world, you're showing them the online world and how to take the best of what still works in the corporate world and bring it over to the online world, and then let go of what doesn't so that you can make the online world work. Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just bringing it in so that we can get to the truth about what it is we want. So we know what makes our solution different. We know how we're helping, we know who we're helping, and we know who we are so that we can offer the solution and we know what the value is that we're bringing, right? So I gotta stop this share here because I have to do a different share. Oh yeah, Fran was the era of the children should be seen and not heard too. Yeah, it was that was an interesting time thing.
Especially at the supper table. Yep.
Yes, yeah, just keep it quiet.
Yep.
All right, let me share my screen again. Where is it? I gotta find the window that I'm trying to get to.
So this is just for us now. It's not for the,
No, it's still on there.
is it still recording?
Yeah, it's still recording. I'm just being a little
So I have to cut.
yeah. Let me pause for a second here. Zoom recording. Okay. Okay. So now we have the share and I'm recording for my people that are watching the replay. All right. So when we're doing our own message, right? So we're going to do this and it's going to be a little longer than what you usually hear because you're making a message that resonates with the people. So there's 4 elements. You're going to interrupt them. The way you're going to interrupt them is by being part of the conversation in their head. And that's why we talk about what their problem is, right? So that we can actually help them. And then we say how we help them. And then we say, the way I got started doing this is when this happened. It made me realize that I could help, right? And some of the people I've worked with went from blue-doo-doom to doo-doo-doom to doo-doo-doom. My own personal experience with this includes, I show people how to so they can, right? That's the sentence you want to work with. I show people how to so they can. And then problems people struggle with related to this include, here are some of the problems. When you're trying to do this, do you struggle with this, this, this? These are different ways you can approach it. So don't try to do all of these, but work with one of these formulas so that you can say the answer. I show people how to blank so they can blank. Problems people struggle with this related to this include, here's some of the problems. When you're trying to do blank, do you struggle with blank, blank, blank? Right? If this isn't resolved, then what happens is blank. If you try it without what I'm doing, then what tends to happen is blank, da, 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 da. And once you apply what I do, then what happens is you achieve da, 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 and then you feel blank, blank, blank. Right? So you're coming up with, you are talking to them about the problem they are experiencing, and then you're sharing with them how you help and what your experience is that helped you do this. So I'm going to show you, let's see if I can do this easily.
That's in our portal, this?
This is not in your portal yet, but it will be.
Okay.
Okay. All right. What's in your portal, when you're in your portal right now, is your workbook. But I want you to work with this because it's going to help you get through the answers in the workbook faster and easier. So I'm going to show you on my website, because I use this formula and created my about page.
okay.
So let me share it. Blah, blah, blah. Pause, stop recording. No, I'm already recording. I'm trying to share my screen. Okay, here's my screen. All right. So I am tweaking this because I don't like my picture on both sides. But my name is Pam Hamilton. I'm a mindset and visibility coach, author, and speaker. I show impact-driven women, solopreneurs, and small business owners over 50 how to find the courage to be seen so they can increase their visibility, attract more of their ideal clients, and grow a business they love. That's what I do, right? And who I do it for, and who I am. Then I can go on and talk to them about I used to be invisible. So now I share that I know about being visible. That's how I got involved with this. And I share my banner message that visibility isn't just about marketing. And then I say I'm passionate, and I say, here's some results people have gotten from working with me. So you start with the small part, because then people can say, well, how did you get into this? Or how do you help? Or what are some results you've gotten, right? And as you start to say that, then people can answer it. You can answer it from whichever part of your problem you've started. Yeah, I know you're recognizing some of those, right? So then you're talking about what are some results? And it meant being able to increase their visibility and attract more of their ideal clients, right? And so I keep going and I talk about mindset matters. So in each thing, I'm talking about how I do it, why I do it, who I do it for, what the results they're getting. And in the end, I invite them to schedule a conversation, because that's my offer, right? And the barrier is low because it's a free conversation, right? Free is always a low barrier, okay? But if they don't feel comfortable scheduling a conversation yet, they can just click here and check out a talk I did so they can learn some more from me. And then I'll offer them a conversation again. So I make the offer. Again, it's free. And so if they don't feel comfortable yet at this level, here's an easier level. Go watch a video. Does that make sense? So this is my big message, but I hone it all down into my little message here, right? I show women, solopreneurs, and small business owners over 50 how to find the courage to be seen so that they can increase their visibility, attract more of their ideal clients, and grow a business they love. They're increasing their visibility so they can attract more clients. They're attracting more clients so they can grow a business they love.
Did you make that font smaller on purpose?
Which font?
At the beginning, the font before the I used to be invisible looks to me to be smaller.
It probably is smaller, but that's because this whole page is still being tweaked.
Okay, I just wondered if you did that on purpose to make that smaller or not.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Okay. So does this all make sense?
Yeah, it's great. I remember what your page was like before. This is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it changes up, it works. And so this is where we're going. So what I want you to do now is just start by saying, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is who I help. And this is and then as you're going into it, then you'll be able to say, this is how I do it, this is the results people get from me. So start with, this is who I am, this is who I help. This is what I do, this is who I help. I'm going to put that part back on the screen so that you can see it. Da, 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 da. Okay, I have to go back on my. Okay. Okay, let's put it back on the screen. Yeah. Screen. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, we're gonna just start with this part. I show people how to so they can. Okay, and then we're gonna talk about how, right? So I show people how to so they can blank, 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 so they can do what? I can't just say I show women how to get visible, because why are they getting visible? Right? There's a purpose. They're increasing their visibility so they can attract more of their ideal clients because they want to grow a business they love.
Okay, so I'm thinking I show people how to unpack the mixed messages and baggage that's holding them back so they can recognize their strengths and skills and discover who they really are.
Okay, so that what?
So that, okay, then I have to add more to that.
Right, because
so
they want
they-
to discover who they really are, so
and
what can happen?
develop more confidence in their careers.
They don't want to develop more confidence in their careers. They want to have a career that they enjoy.
Okay.
Or
And
have their dream career.
Their dream career. Okay.
There you go. Much better. They're not looking for.
Okay.
I mean, because confidence is just another thing. So
yeah, they're going to get it. But yeah. Okay. So I help people unpack the mixed messages and baggage that's holding them back and help them recognize their strengths and skills to discover who they really are and find their dream career.
Okay, there you go. Now, if somebody was looking for a job, would that attract them? If somebody was looking for a career, would that attract them? Cindy?
I would say no,
Okay, and say why.
because it's too up there. It's not practical enough.
Okay.
And what's
I don't need to know who I really am. I need to find a job.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I'm looking for concrete results.
Right. And probably if someone is fired and need a job, they're looking for a job, right? Or a career. So if we say your statement again. I help people.
Okay, so I show people how to find a job.
No, say what you were saying so we can tweak it. I help people unpack
the mixed messages and baggage that's holding them back from finding their dream career.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. That's it. That's it. Right? Because they're not looking for confidence. They're not looking for discovering who they are. They're trying to figure out how they can get a job, but how can they get a job that they don't want to go work at McDonald's or they wouldn't be talking to you. They want a job that has meaning, that makes them feel worth something, that doesn't defeat their self-worth, and that pays them so they can put food on their table, right? So what you just said, that's your statement, right? And then now we can open up on that and say how I do this, right? Or why I know how this feels, right? How I got into this and then how I do it. So start working on that part, and I'm gonna put Cindy on the hot spot here.
Okay. I help women discover how to successfully market themselves so that they have a thriving business without working harder than they already are.
Okay, you don't help women market themselves. Nothing you said in all of the stuff that you just worked on us with was about marketing themselves.
Well, collaboration is generally
It's
a
a
form of
form,
marketing.
it's a form, but it's not marketing.
Okay, so
Marketing is the big picture. Okay. Technically, I could say that I help people with marketing, but
okay,
it's not what I do. I help people find the courage to be seen so they could take advantage of marketing.
okay.
Because you can't market if you're invisible, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are helping women collaborate. You're not helping them market.
Okay.
So let's get back to what you do.
All right. I show women, or I help women successfully collaborate so that they can have a thriving business without working harder than they already are.
Okay, we're getting closer. Okay, so you help women, you show women how to collaborate, you said?
Yeah, or help them successfully collaborate
Okay,
so that they have a thriving business.
okay. So we want them to have a thriving business, but your banner message was that business was a team sport and they
Yeah.
don't have to do it alone.
So is it I help them show them how to successfully collaborate and develop a supportive circle
There you go. You're getting closer.
so that they have a thriving business without working harder than they already are.
Okay, that's much better. That's better. Fran, what do you think of that?
I don't know. I figured stop at thriving business, and then in the struggle with working too hard, I mean, there may be some pieces there. Like I would have stopped after the thriving business.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So read it just with thriving business. Let me hear it.
So I show women how to successfully collaborate and develop a supportive circle so that they have a thriving business.
Okay, I think
It's jarring.
no, I think it has to have the statement about without working harder or
Okay.
so they don't have to go it alone.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like this. So don't go it alone.
I- I'm going to take out supportive circle and do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I show women how to successfully collaborate so that they have a thriving business without going it alone.
Okay. Now see there, that goes much more with what you've been talking about all along, right? And then you can go into your banner message. I believe that building a business is a theme, is a team sport. So I help you build collaborations and supportive circles to, so then you're going into how you do it. So let's go back a little bit. We said what we do. So I want you to come back and you want to say, I'm so and so, and what I do is this. I help people do this, right? My name is this. I help these kind of people do this.
Okay.
So you're gonna just elaborate on what you just did by adding your name and who you're working with, which I think you kind of said, and then we're going to go to how I do this.
Okay, so I help. Yeah, I don't have I don't think I feel like, where's my, who do I help? There's kind of a very long description there. So it's, I help women experienced in business, but new to online.
Right. So you're not going to use all of those exact words. You're going to help women go from corporate to online.
Line. Women go from corporate to online. What was the rest of, what was the next piece of it? I help, that's what I do. I help them go from corporate or online. I show them how to successfully collaborate so that they have a thriving business without going it alone.
There you go. Now, do you feel comfortable saying that?
Yeah, you know, I hadn't really put the corporate piece into it previously.
Is that who you're helping?
Not totally. So I have to decide if that's where I want to focus or not.
Yes, you do. You have to decide who you're helping.
Yeah.
Because that determines who you're helping, and who you are determines how you help and what you bring to the table.
Yeah, it informs the rest of my,
Yes.
like the pieces of my background that I share, because I've got way too much background to
Yes.
try to have it all. So
right. So try to figure that out, because that's how your message got to go. Okay. So I'm gonna put Fran on the hot seat. And you guys that are watching at home, or watching the replay, really go through the work of doing the message and honing it and tweaking it, and ask for feedback on your message so that you start to actually see whether it's working, whether it's addressing the actual person that you're talking to. And then practice. Then once you think you have it, get on a camera and say it, and listen to what you said, play it back, because what you write and what you say is sometimes so different. And you have to make sure that it's something you can say, because sometimes I see these things people write that they say is their elevator pitch. And it's so awful, because you can never say that with a straight face comfortably to someone, even though it looks fine in writing. So make sure that what you say and what you're saying can be said, right? If you're going to be talking, make sure it plays out how you're going to share it. Okay, Fran, let's hear you expanding on yours a little bit.
So starting with who I am.
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Fran Watson. I am a mother, a grandmother, and a great grandmother, and I've been working in the career field for over 30 years. I can help you unpack the mixed messages and the baggage that's been holding you back from your dream career. I serve mostly people between the ages of 40 to 60 years of age who've been feeling stuck in their careers and are seeking help in making a change.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say that you just said.
Yep.
Hey, I'm Fran. I'm a mother, grandmother, and grandmother. I've been in the career field forever, and I help people that are in their 40s or 60s that are stuck and need help finding out how to unpack all of the nonsense holding them back so they can go after their dream career. See how much less talking I did?
I'm glad you got it recorded so I can go back and read it out.
And it's much more colloquial and friendly and approachable.
Yes.
That way. It, you know,
yeah.
And that's what Pam was getting at, I think, when you say you can write it all down.
Yeah.
And then when you say it, does it sound
you have to talk
like somebody you would want to work with? And,
right.
And what Pam said, all the nonsense. Well, yeah, that'll draw me to somebody.
Right. So then that makes people want to work with you, because now you're a person. and and they can relate. They're not scared of you. You're a grandmother and a great grandmother. Yeah, let me go talk to her, right? It makes it easier, right? Because they know you're used to working with people. You're gonna have some patience. You're gonna help them. So, and you have the skill set, and you're gonna help them figure out what it is they want to do, because you're gonna help them unpack all of the nonsense so that they can actually get to what their dream career is. So, and it's easier for you to say because you're not saying all of these words, right? So just practice it, get comfortable in it, use your own words. You don't have to use my words. Just get comfortable with something that you can just say, right? I can talk all day long and say, I know visibility is about more than marketing. It's about finding the courage to be seen. Too many women are afraid of being seen, of being heard, of speaking, of owning their genius. And I help them do that. I help them discover how to find the courage to be seen so that they can increase their visibility and attract more of their ideal clients and grow a business they love. And I can say that all day long because it's core to who I am and it's core to what I offer and teach, right? So you have to do it so that you're comfortable saying it. And you can say it over and over and over and over again until you get comfortable and say it. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go back to what you'd said, my statement, and what you'd said earlier about business is a team sport. Doesn't really speak to corporate. So I
Right.
think that piece of it needs to come out a little bit, and maybe just something along the lines of, I help women navigate the sometimes isolating, lonely online world because business is not a team sport, or business is a team sport. So I'm thinking maybe you've got your mute button on there. I'm thinking I need to talk more to that, business being a team sport, and less to the collaboration piece of it. I mean, less to the corporate piece of it. You're on mute,
So I
Pam.
agree with that.
Uh-huh.
I think that you are you do need to address the team sport part more than the corporate part, because
Yeah.
being online can be so isolating.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're coming from the corporate environment or any kind of business world offline, then, or being an employee, that's one of the things that's really hard for people trying to
Yeah.
build a business online, is dealing with that isolation and just them working by themselves. And that's why co-working is so popular. So I do want you to really get the team sport part and the not being alone in
Mhm.
there, because that's key to what you're talking about.
Yeah. So do I want something that's succinct, like I help women go from corporate to online? Or do I, somewhere in there, do I want to say something, and rather than showing them how to successfully collaborate so they have a thriving business, do I want to say something instead? I help women navigate the sometimes isolating online business because business is a team sport, or navigate the online world because business is a team sport.
Okay. So I like where you're going with it. I don't think
Yeah.
you're quite there yet, but I like where you're going with it.
Yeah.
So when you help women transition from corporate to online without the loneliness and isolation of the online business world, because business is a team sport. So
Yeah.
you want to say something um, where you're including, I help women make the transition from business from offline to on to the off from the offline to online business world without the isolation and loneliness, because business is a team sport.
Oh, good. That we need to go back to and listen to again.
Oh, she says it so well, doesn't she? And we just.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And I'm typing as fast as I can, but my fingers just, they don't, yeah. And it's like, okay, yeah, no, I like that. Going from offline to online business world without the
Isolation and loneliness.
isolation, because business is a team sport.
Right. Okay. So, and then you can say more about you and how you help, right? So, and you want to say you help women because that's who you're helping.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So that makes all the difference. And again, you want to work with older women. And that's not to negate younger women, but younger women were born with computers in their hands.
Yep.
For the most part, and they know how to do this stuff. The younger generation are all collaborative babies. You know, they all know how to do the stuff that we work hard and struggle with and try to make happen. You know, that's why I tell people when they say it's so easy, a 6-year-old can do it. I go, yeah, but is it easy enough for a 60-year-old? Because that's when it's really hard. Yeah, so
Okay.
just to know where you're coming from so they know who you're working with. Okay, because it's different languages for different people.
Yeah. And you were talking earlier with Fran about how the younger group, like 40 to 60, has a different kind of experience. I'd say even yeah, when I was even when I was 40, I couldn't understand what some of the 55-year-olds were talking about feeling. So it's a learning and gradual experience of, am I being edged out because I'm older? What opportunities have I been given? I mean, I didn't feel them until much older. So
Yeah.
But definitely at age 30, I had absolutely no clue.
Exactly. So I'm gonna hold up for a minute because I want to let people know. So this is the ending of our workshop. If you're watching it in the replay, if you're watching it in the replay, again, really do these exercises. Take time to do them, to practice them. Get on the camera and practice them. Get on the mirror and practice them. The other thing I want to say to you is that sometimes having something you can hold on to that helps you feel your courage help is a good thing. When I'm doing something that I'm nervous about, I always have my necklace on, almost always, because it's like a give me courage thing. But I also keep my son's picture here, so if I get nervous, I can look at his picture and know there's someone that loves me and makes me strong. So surround yourself with things that help give you courage. Wear things that help give you courage, and practice in the mirror and on the computer, on camera, saying the stuff and then listening back to it, to see how it really sounds to you and if it sounds realistic and like something that you would be attracted to. And then in the workbook, it's going to give you some more exercises about looking at people that have really strong messages that attracted you and being able to look at how did those messages attracted to you and why, and other exercises like that. So you'll be able to go through them. But I want you to do these exercises we talked about here and work through them on your own steps and then work your program in. And I will be talking to you in email. All right. Thank you for watching the replay, for signing up, and I'm looking forward to meeting you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Pam.